Welcome to another half hour of our Talk to the Experts, and it's all brought to you by Trustedsaskatoon.com, our regular get-together with Sarah Wheelwright, the owner of Trustedsaskatoon.com, and three great Saskatoon area businesses that rely on Trustedsaskatoon.com to get the message out about their great services. Sarah, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Brent.
As John was just saying here, one of our guests, this is the time of the season. A lot of outdoor contracting projects we're thinking about.
Yes, and eventually there'll be leaves on the trees, we hope.
With the theme of contractors and people, definitely this time of year, you think of homeowners who are in this mad rush to all of a sudden get outside, get stuff going, and they're saying, well, where can I look to find a contractor that I can trust, that I know is going to do a good job? All they got to do is go to Trustedsaskatoon.com.
Absolutely, and it is one of those horror story categories. I think everybody will have heard one or experienced one, and we have contractors that you can trust, and you know that because we put them through a process. We make sure that they have the correct licensing, the correct insurance. We speak to 25 of their clients, and we're constantly checking in on them too. We have a mystery shopper program, and every year they have to requalify. So no matter how busy they get, they still have to retain their contract with us and uphold the guarantees. And I'm happy to say they do.
Well, let's get going here with our three guests that we've got in with TrustedSaskatoon.com, our contractors theme. We're going to start off with questions, and we remind people that are listening right now, and you're going to hear our contractors talking, and we're going to be sharing questions, actual questions that people have submitted. You do that by going to the Trusted Saskatoon Facebook page. Their website is TrustedSaskatoon.com, but search them out on Facebook, and you can get a question into some of our upcoming programs, and you might win a great prize. This weekend, we're giving away a $500 prize package. Shane from the Go-To Guys is here, and he's providing a $250 Home Depot gift certificate. Our winner will also get a $100 gift certificate to the Trusted Saskatoon business of their choice, provided by Stone Temple Decorative Concrete. We're going to be talking to one of their folks here in just a moment, and we've also got from Dexterior, Trusted Saskatoon member, we've got the $150 wool and leather quilted jacket. One person wins all of that, and it'll be one of the people who submitted a question to us here today at our TrustedSaskatoon.com Talk to the Experts. We'll welcome John here from Dexteriors. John, how are you?
Not too bad, Brent.
I'm glad you joined us. A busy time of year. We won't take much of your time.
Alrighty.
You good to go? We got a bunch of questions submitted here through the Trusted Saskatoon Facebook page.
Sure.
Serena, where did I start here? No, we're going with Holly, the first one. Says her deck's in need of a facelift, peeling and faded walnut brown stain. That sounds like about 1 million decks in this city. What would you suggest for Holly?
Well, obviously it sounds like she's got a wooden deck, and wooden decks need topical coating to protect the wood. And over a period of time, it might not be every year, but definitely it will be every second or third year. That coating is going to have to be redone in order to save the moisture from going into the core of the wood.
So if the wood's okay, she can redo it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how much it's peeling, how much it's cracking. If you're going to do this yourself, I would suggest that it's sort of a trial and error thing, that you look at a certain grit of sandpaper, possibly a palm sander, or you might want to go with something a little bit more powerful, but you have to remember to watch the grit so you're not biting heavily into the wood and starting to sand that all away.
Do you guys do this work? Will you come in and redo decks?
We do. Mainly it's something that the homeowner chooses to do themselves, though.
What about pressure washers? Is that something you can use on that, or is that a good idea?
Pressure washer is okay to get rid of some of the built-up tree sap and what have you, but not really a good way to blow off a stain that's on a deck.
Here's another one. Nick is asking about vinyl decking. Wants to know about any way to repair cigarette burns in vinyl decking. How do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, there's two types of vinyl decking products in the marketplace. There's a fuzzy back it's a polyester backing, and there's a slick back or shiny back that's solid vinyl. And the solid vinyl tends to be a little better when it's fixing a burn. You can cut the size of the patch over top of the burn, and we use a Leicester hot air gun. We actually melt the patch right onto the top of the material. So after we're done, it's still a little visible, but I mean, it's better than having
a yellow cigarette burn.
Exactly.
Okay.
The other thing I'd like to mention is the polyester. We have to burn the backing off prior to trying to melt it down to the face of the decking, which is vinyl. So either one, I mean, within time we can make it make a good patch.
And you guys do the patching? You'll do that?
We do the patching, yeah.
John is with Dexteriors. I'm taking you build any kind of a deck that people want? That's
You
your
bet.
business?
You bet. We'll build composite, cedar, treated lumber, vinyl decks. We supply railings. We supply picket railings. We supply timber glass railings. So,
One final question for you. And you were telling me you had some personal experience in this. We may have to ask you more about that. Colleen is thinking about sinking a hot tub into her patio deck to make it a permanent feature. That's got to be a bit of a question. I suspect a lot of people like that idea of having it sunk into their deck, but what kind of elevations should they be doing?
well, I've had some personal experience. And the personal experience was the hot tub was sunken fully into the deck. The top lip of the hot tub was about 6 inches above the deck,
Right.
and I'm a fairly svelte kind of a guy. I went to get out of the hot tub and had to roll out, get onto my hands and knees, and then go to a standing position. I would suggest that the lip of the hot tub is up off the deck surface at least 2 feet, so you can swing your leg up over and then get into a standing position from then. Or, I mean, sink it into the deck if you want to crawl around. Pay your penny, pick your choice.
Or get yourself a pool ladder
Yeah, well,
and maybe attached to the side. That's a good thing to think about, because I suspect most people would think the idea of having it flush with the deck would be the way to go. But after you explained it that way about access, that does make a lot of sense to have it a couple of feet above.
Yeah, and it's like anything else to do with the deck. You really have to think about how you're going to plan your deck. Your deck should be an extension of your indoor living space. So, I mean, whatever's going on in the inside should sort of flow to the outside. So many times I drive around Saskatoon now, and we're looking at, $4, $5, $6, $7, $800,000 homes, and they've got an 8 by 12 treated deck stuck to the back.
Yeah.
Sort of as an afterthought. Well, if that's all you require, that's fine. But in most cases, people want an area where they can entertain and they can actually live. So a lot of thought has to be put into it.
People can find your company Dexteriors through Trustedsaskatoon.com. Have you got your own website too?
Yeah, www.dexteriors.com.
Dexteriors, Dexteriors. John, a real pleasure. Thanks for your time today.
No problem.
As we continue on with our Trustedsaskatoon.com expert show for this month, it's all about contractors, those necessary people you need to get that great project done around your home. We were talking to John with Dexteriors. You need outdoor decks built or repairs done to your decks. He's the guy to call. Now we're going to move on to the go-to guys, and we've got Shane, who's here to talk a little bit about his company, and we've got a great number of questions that people have submitted to him as well that we'll get to through the Trusted Saskatoon Facebook page. Shane, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks.
Go-to guys. What's the story of your company? What do you do?
Story of our company is we do siding, soffit fascia, eaves troughs, roofing, stucco, stone, and future endeavors are a little bit of interior and stuff too, but that's to come.
Good deal. Well, we've got a lot of questions pertaining to just those topics. You good to go?
Good to go.
Sarah's got the first one. Wants to know, when do you have to replace your shingles? Important to do it immediately, and what are the repercussions of procrastinating? I bet there's a lot of people in that position with the wind that we've seen late this winter and spring. You drive around, you see small amounts of shingles off, you see large amounts off, people throwing plastic down. Is time an issue with that?
Yeah, time's definitely an issue. If you're asking this question and your shingles haven't flown off, then it's time to replace your shingles, because usually that's the case. But no, it depends on the type of shingle. Again, we always have to assess it. It's best for us to be there. Any curling of your shingles, always look in your valleys. If you see things lifting up in the valleys, that's an obvious case that things should be replaced. Yeah, and all these people that from that windstorm that everything's flown off and there's tarps, almost immediately. I know a lot of people I drive around still, and they're still like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it scares me, because when it rains, that's coming inside your house.
Even if I've got a tarp or some plastic on?
It's coming in, yeah, no matter what. I mean, the only way you can do it is if you do it properly. If you got someone professional like us or someone that knows what they're doing, we can tuck it under the existing shingle and do a good job. But I see a lot of not good jobs out there, and it scares me, yeah.
I suspect a lot of homeowners just simply, go outside after a windstorm, see the shingles gone, and as you say, find a piece of poly or a tarp and get up there and staple it down or strap it down somehow, thinking, oh, that'll do the trick. So if they don't properly seal that off until the pros can get out to put the shingles on, you say moisture gets in there, what's that potentially going to do? Is that going to rot my roof then?
Yeah, I will for sure. Like it's any water in your roof's not good. Insulation gets wet, and it's mold. Insulation can mold, and if depending on the house, vapor barrier can start leaking, and we see it all the time that it goes into the drywall, and that's the more expensive fix is the inside always. Roof is not the expensive fix; it's the interior stuff. So
For somebody who's lost just a few shingles, I suspect they're probably thinking, well, insurance isn't probably worth it. They're going to be paying out of their pocket. Do you help them figure out, which way to go, insurance or pay themselves?
100%. It's cheaper
Yeah.
than they think. If it's less than 21 shingles, we charge $225 plus tax.
Sweet.
It's inexpensive, and people think it's thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
dollars. But
So less than 21 shingles off my roof, you're going to do it for a couple $100.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Better get on the phone, people. Go to guys. Marlene's got a question. What's the best way to change from a stucco finish to vinyl siding? Can you do it over top, or do you have special prepping required?
Yeah, a lot of people ask this question because it's a financial situation. So when we have to take off all of the stone or stucco or whatever, there's brick, it does cost more because it weighs more. It's more for the dump fees.
Yeah.
It's more, and it makes things more level if we are able to do this. Some houses have a very flat finish of stucco that we have been able to go over top of, but there's a lot of things that entail. You'd have to clad your windows if you're building things out, if you're not getting new windows. There's a whole bunch of questions that I would have to ask the homeowner, but you can go over in some cases.
He's our siding and roofing expert. We've got Shane with us from the Go-To Guys, client of Trusted Saskatoon. You'll find them at Trustedsaskatoon.com. Some other questions that have been submitted for Shane through the Trusted Saskatoon Facebook page. Denise lives in a mobile home, wants to redo the roof. She'd like to do a peaked roof to help with the winter snow buildup and runoff. Is that going to help? And what would your recommendation be on the type of roof she go to?
Yeah, anything in these cases, yeah, we go assess the situation. A lot of those mobile homes are 212 pitches, so if it's feasible for her, we can definitely take off any roof and build any style roof. You can go from a 212 to a 1212 if you really want to, and of course just shingle it there and after. And
Is
close
it just
everything
a
up.
wood frame on a mobile home roof?
Yeah, theirs is a little bit different. There's more that entails with a mobile home, but some of them are, some of the newer ones, but it depends if she's saying there's trailer homes, which are different than mobile homes that
Right.
move on trucks. So that those are framed, and those can be done quite
Boy,
easily.
some good stuff here. I'm learning stuff here, things that I didn't realize you could do. And Shane's the expert that you can talk to when it comes to roofing or siding issues. One final question. Crystal tells me she's got a bathroom fan leak in the wintertime. You're telling me this is something pretty common, is it?
Yeah, that's pretty much every single house. We get that phone call, and that's we go out and check it out. And it's not always your shingles that are bad. I know she asked there if the shingles are bad. Not always. Lots of times it's just homemade people doing their own bathroom vents. They take that old dryer vent up there, tape it up, and it falls off over time, and they don't know that it's fallen off, and causes humidity inside of the attic, or it's just not done properly, and it causes condensation and will leak down and start dripping at the fan, or it could be poor shingles, and that area can be moist, and that's something we need to assess.
Go-to guys. Shane is the guy. You got any work you need done on your roof with shingles, whatever, re-roofing, siding, you can find him through the Trusted Saskatoon website, Trustedsaskatoon.com. You got your own website too, Shane?
Yeah, for sure. www.gotoguysinc.com.
GoToGuysInc.com. Excellent. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Good job. And we continue on with our third guest in here now with TrustedSaskatoon.com's Contractor Show on our Talk to the Experts. And we're staying outside with some very special help from Stone Temple. And we've got Russ, the owner of Stone Temple, in to talk a little bit about their products. Russ, welcome to the program, first off.
Thanks, Brent.
What is Stone Temple? What do you do? What's your products?
Stone Temple Decorative Concrete is primarily a decorative concrete only company. We concentrate mostly around swimming pool decks and driveways, patios with stamped concrete.
Well, and even with that, a pretty specialized product, but we've got a good number of questions. People are interested in what you have to offer at Stone Temple. Rachel's asking, with paving, apparently there's no cracking. She says that still happens with stamping. She's asking if you offer stone or brick pavers as an additional option to concrete stamping. You want to elaborate on all of that?
Sure. We don't do paving stones. Basically, paving stones rely on the subsurface below for their strength, just like pavement does in the roadway, and we all know how well the roads hold up. And pavers are no different. If the base is exceptionally well done, they can last a long time. Concrete doesn't rely on the base near as much. It has its own structural integrity and can virtually span voids without any problem when there's rebar reinforcing it, which of course we do at every 16 inches on center. Cracking is something that everybody seems to think that if they see a crack in concrete that it's finished and it's garbage. It's not the case. Concrete, the guarantee of concrete, there's 3 guarantees in concrete. No one's going to steal it. It's going to crack and it's going to get hard. And it cracks about every 6 to 8 feet. And if you've ever walked along a sidewalk, you'll see the joints in the sidewalk. It's called a control joint. Those are put in either with a wet cutter or with a saw. We put them in with a saw in driveways and around pool decks the following day with a very, very small blade. And believe it or not, those are cracks. So we're asking the concrete to break at places where we want it to break. And the good news is the rebar, which is inside the concrete, holds everything together. So concrete breaks around every 90-degree corner. It breaks around every bend, any outside corner, and basically every 8 feet. So it's not a problem. It just if there's no reinforcing inside, the ground movement in the winter can cause elevation differences between cracks. And that's what I think people appear to be the problem, which does not happen with steel inside.
Russ is with us, Stone Temple Decorative Concrete. What about the stamp itself? Quite a selection of patterns?
Yeah, there's a lot of patterns to choose from. We do a lot of texturing of concrete, which will be like a veiny texture or just a simple, very slight bit of stone look to it. We are exclusive with one pattern called fractured cypress slate, which somebody who I've taken a lot of training from actually made a run of 8 different types of patterns, and that was one of them. And we are the only ones in Canada that ever bought it.
Do people, when they get a driveway done with you, do they tend to often extend that same pattern into their garage, or is it more for the outdoor driveway?
Not generally into the garage. Often we use combinations of different stamps, to liven it up if there's too much of one thing. In the cypress slate pattern, we do a lot of staining, and because of the limited color palette you have with Integral inside your concrete, we will use that opportunity to stain individual tiles to match stonework on the house or stucco, or just provide maybe they have a red door and they want just a hint of of a reddish color. We'll do 20 or 30 bricks on the driveway. Well, I call them bricks, but rectangles of the cypress slate in that color, and that's why some people choose that pattern.
I can see that, and boy, you know how people are with their homes nowadays. People love something unique, and that kind of a different design and a slightly different color concrete. A lot of people just love it. Crystal Garini, it is your lucky day. Crystal, you are the winner of our prize pack, the $500 prize pack. We've got a $250 Home Depot gift certificate from Shane and the Go-To guys. Russ from Stone Temple's got a $100 gift certificate towards any Trusted Saskatoon business of your choice, and the folks from Dexterior, John here is providing you a wool and leather quilted jacket. And Crystal, with that, you also have the last question of the day for Russ. She wants to know, can she cement over a crumbling driveway, or is it best to have it completely redone? I think I could even answer this one, but you go ahead, Russ.
Well, believe it or not, I have done it, and that's probably a surprise.
You want to admit to that?
If your elevation allows in the surrounding areas, now your elevation of your garage floor obviously determines what height your driveway is going to be in, and in that case, no, you'd have to take out the concrete. But there has been cases in backyards or beside a house where you're actually wanting to raise the elevation, and sometimes all it takes is an installation of a window well or something like that. And as long as I can go up 4 inches above and have something sound to dowel into the home, I'll go over it. Sometimes it's better base than tearing it out and digging a big hole and having a whole bunch of loon shit mush underneath to deal with.
But at least every project is unique, and they need an expert to come in and really take a look at it, assess the situation, right?
That's right.
I appreciate your time. Boy, 3 really interesting guests here today, and as you're listening along and you're thinking about that outdoor project to make your house and your backyard area all that more livable and enjoyable this summer, give them a call. Find them all through Trustedsaskatoon.com's website. We had Russ in from Stone Temple Decorative Concrete with some fabulous ideas for that unique look for your driveway. John in from Dexteriors. It's all about decks, building them and repairing them. Dexteriors with an X in there. And we also had Shane in here, the Go-To guy. Go-To guys are the people that are the experts when it comes to getting a roofing job done, getting some new shingles put on, or some siding work on your home as well. And each and every one of them can be found under their respective categories when you go to Trustedsaskatoon.com. Again, we encourage you to go to their Facebook page, Trustedsaskatoon.com's Facebook page. You'll find out more about the great services in Saskatoon and area businesses that are part of Trusted Saskatoon, and you could submit questions for our next Talk to the Experts right here on News Talk 650 CKOM.